Hello friends, I'm going to share a brief video with you of a divorced woman which appears to be in her late 40s who talks about, goes through the story of how she met her husband-to-be, first boyfriend and then husband, and then how it ended up in the collapse of the marriage. She makes it sound like it's all his fault, and I'm sure that to every story there are two sides, and one should never judge a situation by only listening to one side. But again, I think it's best that you hear this from the horse's mouth, where she says that her husband, through some counseling, complained that she's not having enough intimacy with him. She's basically denying him sex, enough sex. And so later on, she finds out that he has cheated. And this comes as like she presents this as it's a complete shock and something overt that he's done, like, robbing a bank or killed her mother or something. When you basically are violating the vows of marriage by denying your husband intimacy, what exactly do you expect him to do? To go celibate and say, okay, well, I continue to do my part. I'll continue to provide and do everything else that I vowed to do. And it's okay, you can just do half of it from now on. It just doesn't work that way. There is give and take, and this is just one example, a very common reason why marriages collapse, because one side just stops delivering, stops honoring the vows, and then they are shocked and amazed when the person is deprived and goes outside to get what he needs. I'll let you watch the video and judge for yourself.
I post a lot of my disaster dating stories, but probably one of the most powerful stories is the story of how I got divorced. I moved to LA when I was 25 years old, and 3 weeks after I got here, I met a man who was a television agent, and he ended up being my best friend. He was super funny. We had a lot of energy together, so we did lots of fun things. Everything was like wonderful and great. And after 3.5 years of dating, we ended up getting married. Married life was pretty good. Like, we were both really career centric, and so our careers were going amazing. And then we decided that we were going to have kids, and then we had 2 kids, 2 daughters. So when our daughters were 1 and 4, things started to be a little bit weird. So he suggested that we start going to couples therapy, which we did. And that's when things started to get really weird. And he was saying things like, you should have more sex with me because I'm Superman in the bedroom. And I'm thinking, like, I'm looking at him like. He also said things like, oh, if we get divorced, you're going to be destitute because, like, everything that we have is mine, so you're not going to have anything. So that caused me to do a little bit of digging. So I went to our money manager, because we had a lot of money at that point. And I went to our money manager and I said, can you please give me all of the withdrawals from this account for the last 2 years? And he did. So he basically sent me the withdrawals, 3 of which I recognized. And the 4th one was a check to Tiffany around Valentine's Day, the jewelry store. So I thought to myself, God, had he gotten me anything from Tiffany? So I checked our bank accounts, and no, he didn't. He actually got me a Burke Williams gift card, which I remember vividly because he was really pissed that I took too long when I went to go get my massage. So clearly I sent him the charge, and I was like, any idea what this is for? He replies and says, oh, we can talk about it when I get home. So he comes home later that night, and he's acting super weird, and he starts packing a bag, and he says, something tells me that you're not going to want to see much of me after we have our conversation. And then we both kind of go in separate rooms, because I'm putting our youngest daughter, who's 1 at the time, to bed, and he's putting our oldest daughter, who's 4, to bed. So after I put our youngest daughter to bed, I decide that basically he's definitely cheating on me, and he's pretty much going to leave, and that I was kind of like, F it. So I hear his phone buzz in his jacket pocket. So I'm like, I've never checked his phone before, but there's a first for everything. So I went right to that phone. And in his pocket, I found a letter addressed to me, which I opened and read, and it basically said that he had been cheating on me, but who it was with and how long it was going on for was none of my business. And I was like hell it's not. So I searched his phone. I couldn't find anything. I finally went to his email drafts and I found a email that he had sent to his former assistant that basically was asking her for more time to leave me so he could be with her.
As you saw, she made it all his fault. And when she was talking about the guy saying that how good he was in the bedroom and everything, she also made a face clearly communicating that she is ridiculing his sexual performance in the bedroom and making fun of his abilities. And she's not exactly a beauty queen, as you can see. And this is what these entitled women do. They are expecting to give the minimum and get the maximum because they think they're God's gift to men or something. And I mean, look at her. As always, be the judge. We don't have to put up with this crap.